runner, Steve here, the Faithful Runner. Today I'm getting ready to head out on a run, a training run. It's a little gloomy out there, a little overcast. We had a little rain last night, and so today's run, Monday run, is just a whatever run, and that's usually what it is. It's just whatever I feel like doing. That could be pushing some distance or not. So and that's usually because I've done my long run for the weekend, and the Monday run is just to kind of get loosened back up and keep those muscles conditioned. And I don't really try to push for speed, and I normally don't try to push for distance. I just go out there and whatever feels right is what I do. And usually Monday is just kind of when I have fun with it, and you kind of take in what's around you and you really enjoy it. So, but I wanted to take a few minutes before I do that to talk to you guys a little bit about training. Now, I know you guys know what training is as far as running goes, but training for me goes far beyond just the elements, the physical elements of running, because I am training for a full marathon, and right now I've only ran a half marathon, and I'm training for a full marathon. I know that my training and my method of training for me personally has worked for a half marathon, and I'm carrying this over into a full marathon, and it has taken me, I've been doing this for nearly 5 years, and it has taken me all the way up to just last year to kind of figure this out. And sometimes it gets tough out there running, whether it's a short run or a long run. Sometimes the run is hard, sometimes there's discomfort, and sometimes there's pain. Now, running for me has never been easy. Physically, running has always been a challenge, and I've always had to really train hard and push hard to gain. I've only ran a half marathon. My goal for this year is to run a full marathon. I've offered myself the challenge of a full marathon, and I've accepted it. And doing that gives me that determination to push towards that goal. I have no doubt physically I'm going to do it. Physically, I don't know how well I'll come across the finish line. I know it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to train. I know I'm going to try to physically get my body to that level, get my body to be able to push through 26.2 miles. But training for me goes far beyond the physical elements of running. I've had to tap into my spirit and my mind, really, truly, to make it out there and make it as far as I have. And what I mean by that is, training's tough, training's hard. And when you're out there pushing a short distance or a long distance, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to have those days where it just sucks. For me, unfortunately, those days are more often than not. When I'm out there, a lot of times I have those days where it's just hard. A lot of times I push past that barrier, and I'm glad that I've developed that ability, because I get that little glimpse of I feel invincible. There's a moment in time when I'm out there running, I've tuned out of everyday life. I've tuned into my mind, I've tuned into my body, I've tuned into my spirit, I've tuned into, and I've left everyday life behind. And not that everyday life is hard for me, because honestly, my life is pretty nice, and that's awesome for me to say, and I may smirk a little bit when I say that, because there was a point where life was not. And my life is good now in so many ways, but I can honestly have to give credit to running, because that's changed me so much mentally, that's changed me so much spiritually, and of course the physical aspects of running, feeling good, feeling physically good, changes a lot of things as well. But when I'm out there running, I get this, and I'm feeling physically tired, and I feel discomfort, and I feel pain, and I get this glimpse, a moment in time where I feel invincible. It could be a mile 6, it could be a mile 11. But I feel invincible. I feel like I'm floating. I feel like I could run forever. I feel like I could run all day long. I get that glimpse, and that gives me the determination to push forward. And as I continue to train my mind, and I have to do that. For me, I have to do that because I deal with lack of self-confidence. I'll let myself at times believe that I cannot achieve my goals. I've struggled with that most of my life. It stems from things in my past. That's not important anymore at all. I'm not going to lie and say that my past doesn't come back and haunt me. My past does come back, and that's when the self-confidence, the lack of self-confidence, and the lack of determination sometimes, and believing, allowing myself to believe that I can't achieve my goals, is definitely from a past life that was tough. So that stems from that. But I've learned, and I've trained my mind to get past that. And these little glimpses in time when I'm out there running at any given mile is part of that training, and it's part of that mental state that I have to get into. So as I continue to train my mind in this way, I'm out there physically training, I'm running, I'm physically conditioning my body, I'm progressing and pushing forward, but mentally I have to train as well. And I think a lot of runners, if you're pushing distance, whether it's a half marathon, full marathon, ultra marathon, and beyond, I think it gets that way. I think a big portion of running is mental and emotional, and I've had to really work on the mental and emotional side of that, and get past the self-esteem issues, and get past not believing in myself. And this is a step towards that. And this training that I'm doing, and staying positive, and believing in myself, and pushing forward, and erasing the discouraging thoughts, is huge for me, because that will be a race changer if I let that happen, and it has been. These glimpses come more often, and they have more impact, and they stick around longer, and that's part of working on me mentally. And this all may sound weird. I mean, and maybe it is weird to some people that running is emotional and mental, but it is for me. And if you deal with that, or if you're out there and maybe you don't know you deal with that, if you're out there running and then you do have some negative thoughts and discouraging thoughts, and then you just start to crash. You're crashing because physically you can do what you're doing. You've done it. You're out there running. You've pushed miles, or pushed 3 miles, or pushed 2 miles. Physically, you're going to be able to push as many miles as you want to. You just got to allow your mind to tell your body that. And as strange as that may sound, and maybe it does. I mean, it doesn't sound strange to me because I do it. But anyway, so training is much more than just physical training, physically conditioning your body and progressing forward physically, and progressing forward in miles and pushing miles. Training is training just about every aspect of yourself, mentally, spiritually, and for me, unfortunately for me, that was the biggest portion of training, is working on my self-confidence and believing in me. One piece of advice that I can give is, don't let the discomfort and pain of running when you're out there, or the discouraging thoughts, distract you. You should really embrace the discomfort and the pain, because the discomfort and the pain is the result of something very positive. And once you can learn to embrace, okay, I'm uncomfortable and my body hurts and I'm tired, and use that to kind of fuel the fire, once you can learn to do that, it's going to change things tremendously. And embrace that discomfort and embrace that pain, because it is truly the result of something very positive. Running is hard, so difficult, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that for anybody. And if you want to run, and if you're a beginning runner, I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm just trying to give you the reality of it. It's fantastic. It makes me feel amazing. I feel incredible physically. I feel great. And I love that, because there was a time in my life where I was scared to death that I would physically maybe not make it to the next day. And that sucks to think that. And to get to the point where you know you're healthy and you know you're taking care of your body and you know that you're going to live to see your grandchildren, you know. And I'm not trying to sound dramatic or sappy, but honestly, I was at a point in my life in my past 5 or so years ago, whenever I started this journey, that I didn't think that there may a day come that I might not wake up, you know. And that does sound dramatic. I know that does sound a little dramatic, but that was the reality of my life then. Now, I feel great. I feel incredible. I feel good. Now I feel tired. I have sore muscles. I'm training every day, almost, and I'm pushing miles, and I'm getting ready for a half marathon, and then I'll be getting ready for a full marathon. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with pushing my body, and I know my body can handle it. Mentally, I've got a lot of work to do. To keep my mind straight, to keep telling my body and myself that I can do this. So when I'm out there training, there's the point A to point B factor. Okay, so there's a start point and a finish point. Starting line, finish line. What I do mentally to prepare for what I plan on doing that day is just telling myself, I'm going to do 8 miles. I'm going to do 11 miles. I know there's a starting point, and I know where the end is, and if the end is 8 miles, I got that in my mind, that's what I'm going to do. Now, in between there's going to be some pain and discomfort. Going to be some aches and pains and fatigue and being tired. Natural elements will probably play a part. Rain and heat and cold. Those I could definitely deal with. But mentally, I have to tell myself, look, you've got 8 miles to do. Do your miles. And that's all part of the training too. And that's why I know when I set out to do 11 miles, I do 11 miles. And even if it's hard, even if I run into situations, I do 11 miles. And that's all part of the mind training that you have to do. Now, I apologize for all the noise outside. I live in a crazy neighborhood. Sort of. I live in a small town, but a crazy neighborhood. Anyway, so as far as training goes, you have that aspect. You have the physical, you have the mental, you have the emotional, which they all play a big part. So another thing about training is all those things that we just talked about. But the hardest one, one of the hardest ones, and this was difficult for me. I've said this before, I weighed almost 300 pounds. I was very unhealthy, out of shape, felt terrible. I ate garbage, and I didn't even think about it. You cannot take food for granted. Food is simply fuel. It fuels your body for your everyday activities. It fuels your body for your exercises. And understanding that fuel and understanding what kind of fuel you need to run your body for everyday life and for physical exercise, for running and for running distance. You got to understand what's good for you. And you've got to be very particular about what you put in your body. And you have to fuel your body with the proper fuel. Know what you're eating. Cook your own food. Pre-made, pre-processed stuff is usually full of garbage, and it has things in the ingredients that you probably cannot even pronounce. And do you want that in your body? And will your body even know what to do with that? No, most likely not. Organic is good. Eating natural foods, raw vegetables are great. Canned vegetables are okay as well, but raw vegetables are packed with nutrients that your body wants and that your body will use and that your body needs. I'm not saying don't eat. Eating is important, very important. But taking for granted how easy it is to grab something that's been made somewhere and throw it in the microwave and eat that is not the wisest choice. Take the time, cook your food, put in your own ingredients, put in natural things, eat proper foods. I'm never going to tell anybody not to eat red meat. I'm never going to say that, because that's a good protein source. Chicken, fish are great for you. Raw vegetables with the nutrients, eat those. Those are fantastic for you. Eat fruit. Eat fruit. It's great. You'll get to a point in your nutritional journey where fruit will taste very sweet to you, and you won't need donuts or chocolate or candy. You'll cut all that garbage out, and with the aside from the occasional treat, I eat dark chocolate. I eat dark chocolate covered almonds. I think they're great. I eat them in moderation, but dark chocolate is okay. But you won't need that stuff. You'll get to a point in your nutritional journey in your diet where fruit will taste sweet. Fruit will replace that, and it's so much more refreshing and so much better for you. So nutrition is huge in your training process, and training to eat right is hard. I have a friend who is on a journey, on a health and fitness journey, and he's got a ways to go, and he knows this, and he weighs quite a bit. And I'm not trying to offend him or offend anyone that weighs a lot, because I know that can become a problem and almost like a disease. Sometimes it's mental, where you know, eating brings comfort, and he is a very large man, but he wants to physically change. He wants to be healthy. He wants to feel good, and he's taken it very serious. Now, I don't know if I played a part in that, and if I did, great. I hope so. I hope that I can inspire people to want to be healthy. That would be great, and I want that. But I want him, and I'm trying to help him. And his hardest thing about this, he'll go out there and he'll walk a half a mile, and he'll sometimes push beyond that, and he'll push his body. And as a big man, walking like that is physically demanding. He's doing that. The thing that he struggles with the most is eating right, not overeating. Eating the right foods. It's hard. That's hard to do. That's hard to break those terrible habits. And life is busy, so grabbing something that you can just throw in the microwave is so much easier than trying to prepare a meal. But if you're going to take it serious, and if you're going to take your health serious, and if you're going to take your running journey serious, then you got to take every aspect of running serious. And you got to eat right. You got to hydrate. You got to drink water. Cut out the pop. Cut out the garbage. Drink water. Lots of water. You can have coffee. You can have things like that. You can have things you enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to deter you away from physically becoming healthy. I don't want you to think that running is all about, I gotta watch, this and watch that, and it's gonna be so hard and so much work. Well, it is going to be hard. It is going to take a lot of work. But if you're serious about it, and if you want it, do it. I know how hard it is. I know what it's like to go from point A to point B, from being physically in terrible shape and overweight and feeling like garbage, to feeling great and to feeling good. into figuring out my nutrition, into figuring out physically and mentally and spiritually what I need to stay on track. Man, it's not going to be easy. Running's tough, and that's why there's a lot of people who don't do it. But I am not only passionate about my physical well-being and how running has changed my life. I want that for everybody, and I'm not even kidding. I want that for you, and if that's what you want, I want that for you, and I want to help you, and I want to give you some advice and little pointers and things. And I know these are things that work for me, and everybody's body's different. And you got to figure out what works for you. But my friend, I'm trying to help him figure out what works for him. And I'm trying to guide him in the right way. And I'm trying to be there for him. And to be there with him every time he wants to go walk it and physically push forward. I want to be there. I want to help him. I want to encourage him. And I want to give him the bold, honest truth that this is going to be a challenge. But it's a challenge that you can get through. It's a challenge that you can do, and you'll start seeing progression. You'll start seeing things become different. Your body getting thinner, your body feeling physically better, eating right, and how food has a completely different meaning than what it used to have. And this is emotional for me, and I'm not going to get emotional because I've done that once on video and I hated it. I'm not going to do it, but I'm telling you, I'm so passionate about this because I know how it's changed my life, and I want it for you. And if you want it, do it. Just do it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy to go out there and run and push miles, or go out there and run 2 miles or 1 mile or walk half a block. For some people, a half a block is like running a half a marathon. And I have a friend who's doing that, and it's not easy for him. But he's got that drive and that determination to change this garbage lifestyle that he's living of feeling unhappy and unhealthy, and it's time. He knows it's time to make a change. He's still a young man, and he can do it, and you can do it too. And anybody who wants it can do it. And I wanted it, I did it, and I know what it's like to feel good and to feel happy. And not only is it life-changing in the sense of health, but it's life-changing in the sense of knowing that you can do things that you really thought you couldn't. I mean, that will build your ego, that will build your self-esteem, that will make you a more positive person. It's gonna change every aspect of your life in every way. And it's funny how that happens. But it makes you a positive person, it makes you a happy person, it makes you other people want to be around you because you're a more positive and happy person. It makes you encouraging to others and to be happy for others' well-being. And those are things that I never used to be. And I've grown a very compassionate heart for people who are physically challenged with whatever. And sometimes it's brought on by themselves, and sometimes they're born into it. Either way, I love you because you're a child of God. And God wants me to love all of His children. And I don't love you because, well, I love you because God wants me to, because I want to obey God. I've just grown a compassionate heart for people. And honestly, this is all due to my running journey and all that I have gone through over the last 5 years, and all that I have accomplished, and the way I feel mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's a training process, and it seems like it's never ending. And it seems like I feel the need to push myself beyond my comfort zones, and I'm going to do that. And it's always going to be a training process, whether you only ever want to run a 5K and only ever want to run 3 miles a day or 3 miles every other day for the rest of your running journey, and that's okay. That's still healthy. And everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to push themselves in different ways. But be proud that you're doing it, and continue to do it. So taking up enough of your time, I'm going to go out on a run, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to do whatever today but I know I'm going to be doing a lot of talking to God, and I know I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking about people, and I love you guys, and if you're watching this and you want some help, I'll help you. Or I know so many people who have so much more knowledge than me as far as running goes, and are physically in better shape than me, that would probably love to help you. And you can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And the journey might be rough. The roads might feel long, and the miles might seem hard, and your body may seem like it's not going to recover, but it will. And it gets easier, and it gets better, and you get stronger, and you feel great. So, you don't have to run, you can walk. You don't have to walk, you can ride a bike, you can swim. If you move your body and you stick to an exercise plan and a routine, you're going to see life changes. And I hope that you do. If you need it, I hope that you do. So, thank you guys for listening to me. Have a great day. Keep running, keep doing what you do. If you're on a new health journey, you're awesome. And I'm gonna go continue mine. So we will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, Steve here, the Faithful Runner, and I'm here with my buddy Chad. And we're out here doing a walk. Chad does this walk just about every day. He goes on a walk. He's been doing about a half a mile, and I think in the evening. No, but so Chad's on a health and fitness journey, and he's trying to drop a few pounds and work on his health, and he's been watching his diet, his nutrition, and things like that. And I come out here with Chad, just about every day, and we walk together, and I'm just trying to help him out and help him on his journey with health and fitness. And I'm really inspired by this guy for what he's doing, because I know what it's like to be unhealthy and to be out of shape and to be overweight, and I know how hard it is. And his determination to come out here every day and do this is truly inspiring for me, because I know where he's coming from. So we're going to get this walk going. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.